light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up, go dumb, go stupid, yeah, we undefeated, sucker free, we got the seats heated, let's face it, you bout to get a beat down, less talking, let's take it to the streets now, ain't gonna be no rematch, why you wanna fight, touchdown on sight, yeah, turn off the light, oh, turn off the light, let's get it poppin', go dumb. When you see me moving, bodies dropping. Move some. I'm about to go sick. Call Earl. I'm turning up like E40, not your average girl. I'm turning up. We can rock like Rocky. Make you tap it. Ghost ride the whip. Look at my drip. This ain't a copy. We got a night if you wanna throw hands. When they see me fight, they wanna throw bands. Go dumb, go stupid. Yeah, we undefeated. Sucker free, we got the seats heated. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up.
It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for that Boxing Monday Night recap known as the Shoe Shine. Alright, y'all know the drill. I usually say joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly, Irish Drew Evil will be in the building. I just texted him. He will be here shortly. Thank you to everybody that joined me earlier today for a special impromptu little show with Mario of Infighting FX right here on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and go share some love with Mario. Always a good time to be on the air with him. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. There is a lot of stuff going on in the combat sports world in general. Preseason football kicked off. A horrible showing by my San Francisco 49ers, and the Niners are coming to Vegas, where the Raiders did kind of well. I'm actually kind of shocked, but I'm not sure if you guys all saw that. Well, right now, speaking of Las Vegas and the Bay Area, you see the Athletics, the progress on the Athletics, future home site of the Athletics, where it used to be the Tropicana. As you can see now, construction is deep underway. Monster trucks galore. A lot of dirt being shoved around for the future home of the Oakland Athletics. Well, at least they tell me that's going to be the home of the future site of the Las Vegas Athletics. Today I was shopping at my local Trader Joe's, in Henderson, guys, and I was wearing this hat here, and he was asking me about my sports affiliation. Guy was from Sacramento, as I always run into, really cool people from Northern California that have moved to Las Vegas. And he asked me if I was happy about the Athletics coming to town. Yeah. I'm kind of excited that the Athletics are coming to town. I'm gonna be honest. I told him, hey, when I was a little leaguer, I saw that '89 World Series where the San Francisco Giants were about to play the Oakland Athletics, and I was a big fan of Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire, the Bash Brothers, of course, and I even had that hat. I was telling them, I'm trying to find that hat. If anybody knows where I can get that hat that had San Francisco on one side and the Ace on the other, I've never seen that hat for sale again. Maybe I just need a deep dive into the internet to find one. But saludos to everybody joining us. Wiley Coyote in the building. SB, great to see you again. Thank you for being here earlier. Tony Boswell, saludos to you. Appreciate you showing some support. Drew Evo will be here shortly. So much to talk about. So I'm going to run by some of these early stories that have been on my mind as a sports fan. Of course, the Athletics pushing dirt. They say that they're pouring concrete now. But there's been some other stuff before Drew gets here in the boxing world, sports world, obviously, lots to talk about. But I'm been extremely impressed with Shador Sanders this past weekend. Thrown to the wolves as a starter on Friday night. Did you guys see Shador's performance? If I could just say, boy, did he exceed all expectations, right? The guy barely made the fifth round. And on the depth chart of the Browns, he's way down there, but what a performance by Shador. Oh, man, I can't believe the 49ers passed on this guy. Yeah, I know. Deion played for the Niners at one point. Maybe his dad could have kept him under control, but the 49ers quarterback situation on the depth chart is so bad that I'm starting to wonder why they didn't take a chance on Shador Sanders. He looked good. What'd you guys think? Let me know. I see Wiley saying the Juice Brothers. could have been the best era of baseball, in my opinion. Was Barry Bonds never caught? But of course, Victor Conti is deep in boxing news the past week. I will say that Victor Conti's former affiliation with some of the best baseball players of that era, being in the Bay Area, and of course now under serious scrutiny as he prepares Terrence Crawford for the biggest fight of the century in Las Vegas at the Allegiant Football Stadium, being accused of perhaps aiding and abetting Terrence Crawford get past those VADA tests. I don't buy it at all, guys. In fact, if you're interested, go read my friend Lucas Cattell. Lukey, Big Dog Lukey's been on our show many times. He wrote a great interview, great article on boxing.com, boxingscene.com. Go check that article out with Victor Conti. A great interview. But Shador, very impressed. The 49ers, hot mess right now. I saw somebody earlier letting me know that the Niners were going to get sent home crying. We'll see about that. I mean, but I was impressed by the Raiders themselves having drama. Geno Smith, former Raiders himself last season, now of course, former Seahawks player Geno Smith, quarterback, flipping off the fans in Seattle. That game ended in a tie. The Raiders came back to play exceptionally well, and letting the fans of Seattle know he doesn't care for them anymore, his former home. I got to say this about Seattle Seahawks fan. That stadium on the waterfront, absolutely beautiful stadium, the way it should be. Waterfront, San Francisco 49ers Stadium, built miles from where I used to live in the South Bay area. A hot mess, a very hot mess. People still tell me to this day they cannot believe how bad the stadium, 49ers Stadium, is built in a way where the sun beats you in the face. Half the stadium just roast. And I know Las Vegas is hot, guys. Las Vegas is 109, 110 degrees this week. But it gets hot when the sun is beating on your face. Drew Evil, well, right now, let's get to my co-host, Drew Evil. ¿Qué pasa, homie?
What's up, Dave?
Good to have you back on the Shoe Shine. Everybody say hello, Drew. Drew is back in the building. Big week. The thumbnail is all Philly, Drew. And it comes on a birthday week for me. And Drew as well, a Libra. Question is, I was asking Mario earlier today, will we be able, as a show, to send Drew Evo to see Boots Ennis in Philly? October 11th. It's been announced. I don't want to hear no excuses, man. If we can get you to go see that show, Drew, you and plus one, man, it's going to be a great night, I think.
I'll see.
I'll see. I think so, Drew. Well, there's a lot to talk about, Drew. Obviously, huge news today. The UFC. We got the boxing news. We have a really good fight card this Saturday afternoon for American sport fans. It will be in the UK. But I got to ask you a couple things off topic. This one is just crazy, Drew. This one is really crazy. I don't even know if you want to touch this one, but women's basketball, men's boxing, they might be the two most unfavorable sports in the U.S. right now. And some people have been throwing sex toys at women's NBA. You heard about this? I don't know what is so funny to you.
I gotta say something when it comes to the WNBA, and I'm not being sexist. I'm not being offensive and everything. It's just like facts and everything. When you're saying that, well, Angel Reese is an idiot. I'm sorry, she's an idiot. But when you're saying, oh, we don't get paid, we need to get paid to the level of the NBA players or we're going to strike, you can't afford to strike, number one. And second of all, you hate on somebody that actually brings viewers to your league, brings fans to your league. A lot of these girls, like, not a lot of them, it's like the Brittany Grinder, Angel Reese hates on this Caitlin Clark because a lot of fans come to see her. and the league is getting more exposure because of her. And you're hating on that, but let's look at it like this. Brittany Griner shouldn't say shit because I'm not going to represent my country. Yeah, they're the reason why you got out of Russia, because you were stupid enough to bring a fucking vape with you to a fucking plane in Russia. And Angel Reese, I'm sorry, Angel Reese is not a good player. How the hell are you 6'3", and all right, you average a double-double, but most of those double-doubles are off your misses. I'm being dead ass. She shoots 34% from the field. Averages 14, 10, and 2 assists a game with a block shot. And most of those rebounds are averaging off her missed shots and no layups. So I want to seriously, if anybody, and Paige Beckett, I believe is going to be a great player in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckett are probably going to, and I'm going to be honest, there are so many good players in that league.
Really?
That I think that are getting less attention than Angel Reese and everything.
Well, Las Vegas is the home of the championship team.
And Plum, she's a good-ass player, too. Wilson, I think Wilson's the best player in the WNBA from the Las Vegas Aces.
Well, Drew, they got one of the people. They've arrested one of the guys, and it happened in Phoenix, who's been throwing sex toys at the women's basketball teams. It's been happening all over the NBA, women's NBA, so much so that they have to put up, now I guess they're going to put up temporary netting. And at one point, they didn't allow any fans to watch a game last week. This is one of the guys, Caden Lopez of Phoenix, Arizona, was arrested for throwing one of these objects. And I believe he actually hit somebody in the head with it first before it landed on the field. Just a great way to commemorate your first women's NBA game is getting hit with a dick face, right?
Well, look at the fucking kid himself. Look at the fucking kid.
But there's another guy who's out on the loose who's been throwing them in New York. Apparently this guy, he's wearing an appropriate t-shirt here. He's wearing a Beavis and Butthead t-shirt after launching one of these green sex toys. I think his maybe didn't end up, but it's happening all over the U.S. In case you're wondering why they're throwing them, well, I had to look this up, guys. There's a new crypto meme coin or some bullshit. So this is all over a crypto meme coin. That's what it is. It's promotion. Here, I thought they were trying to make a statement against women's sports. No, it's a freaking meme coin. That's what this is about.
I look at it like this. I don't really care about it too much and everything, but I am going to say this right now. The NBA, the men's basketball league, I'm sorry, it's soft. If you want me to be honest, I watch basketball because I used to play basketball a lot when I was younger. And I was a huge fan. My all-time favorite basketball player was Allen Iverson. My two favorite basketball players of all time were Allen Iverson and Steve Nash.
Those are great players. Shout out to Fonzie in the chat. Drew, this definitely caught my eye. I was talking to a good friend. Shout out to Card Shop Reality. I'm not sure if you tune into the shows or the replays, but I was talking with Card Shop, who owns I believe a collectibles cards business and comics and that type of stuff. And he did tell me that he was absolutely going to get these, Drew. This is a first of its kind in a long time. Boxing has returned to Topps. And apparently these things flew, I guess, on day one. They're gone. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get a hold of them unless I pay top dollar, Drew. But some of the great cards, Floyd Mayweather, Ryan Garcia, this one's already been signed, signatured. Everybody wants these. They're apparently on eBay for a fortune, dude. Look at this. Even Jake Paul's on. Jake Paul got himself one. Damn, these are lit. Did you know these cards were coming out?
Yeah.
Well,
I have to know. Here's the thing. I have to know because I am a collector myself and everything. I really, Like I don't really collect. I try not to collect them unless they're graded already, because getting them graded can be a hassle, because you gotta pay at least $20 a card to get graded, and you don't know how much the card is. So let's say you get a graded card, you get it graded for $20, you don't get it back for at least 60 to 90 days, and they put the plastic case coating around it, and let's say if you pay $20, the card's not even worth 10, you're shit out of luck.
Well, I'm loving these cards, Drew, and apparently you can probably find them on eBay right now. The going rate on eBay, I think, is close to $300 for a case of those. I think, man, for a boxing fan, I whatever you got to pay to get them. I mean, they're limited editions. So what do you guys think about them? Let me know. Wiley says those look pretty cool. I think they look awesome. And I know Fonzie's a big collector of these type of things. Fonzie got me a limited beer set that had been in circulation back in the day, and I've got that ready to put up in my room, this beer set that was amazing. A lot of throwback fighters, but this looks like it's going to be a real cool collector's item. So Drew, this week, before we get all to the big stories, there's been kind of a small story. You know, I talked about it briefly that, you know, a lot of podcasters on this platform, on YouTube, that are covering boxing are getting themselves in hot water. They're getting themselves in hot water with some of the top boxers in this country. I brought up the Bud Crawford situation, what's been going around, you know, these allegations from people that perhaps, you know, he's working with Victor Conte. And anytime you work with Victor Conte, snack nutrition, the accusations are going to fly, right?
Yeah.
This takes the cake, guys. There's been at least 3 fighters, active fighters, Jake Paul, Bam Rodriguez, that this week have come out and have made statements that they're going to actually pursue litigation, you know, sue you for slander or libel, come after you if you're talking a whole bunch of bullshit. And I'm going to list a quick statement because Jake Paul put this out, and he has a number one target. If anyone says my fights are staged, you will be sued. And secondly, you're a jealous ass peasant who cannot even believe how good I am at the sport. And you should go to church to fix your insecurities. I pray for you because I have so much love, humanity, and that includes the people who are against me. Genuinely, I pray for you, and I want the world to be in a better place. You people are filled with a disease, and I'm here to help you cure it. Well, you know who it is? That one of the main guys he was going after is this British broadcaster, Piers Morgan. Because Piers Morgan had posted a few weeks ago, says that Jake Paul's boxing career has been boring, staged bullshit. What I meant is that his fights have been predominantly against older, past their prime opponents, which may be lucrative for both sides and have entertainment value, but don't reveal how he stacks up against currently ranked boxers. All right, as you guys can see, he's backtracking the statement. He's kissing ass. He's had to retract all these statements and make apologies for them because, well, he insinuated, under using the word staged, was that his fights were crooked. And Jake Paul has secured one of the best attorneys, and he's made it perfectly clear he's going to sue the out of you if you say this kind of slander, libel, whatever. But he's not the only one, because even Bam Rodriguez threatened legal action this week against another content creator who's been making up stories about him. Just fucking complete bullshit. This is kind of what happened with that situation with Diego Pacheco, with Diego Pacheco's team member here in Las Vegas, where I met that content creator. That content creator, even though in person he was cool, I've seen some of his content. Some of his content borderlines being kind of slanderous and libel. And that team member of Diego Pacheco was like, "What's up with that bullshit?" He was like, "What's up with those stories you be making up? You know, trying to paint us in bad fashion." He said, "It wasn't me. It's not me. You must think I'm somebody else." But they did step to him and, you know, borderline assault the guy. I don't think assaulting people, roughing people up, roughing up reporters, roughing up YouTube content creators, TikToks, I don't think that's the path. I think, I'm just going to say it, what Bam and Jake Paul are doing is the right way to do it, because obviously we don't want to see violence against content creators or fans. But if you're going to run your mouth, then you better be prepared to pay the price. And sometimes if you're on the wrong, well, you're going to get your ass sued. And that's what the legal system is there for. That's just my take, Drew. But what do you think about all these people that are getting suddenly put under pressure that they might find themselves in a lawsuit against big athletes?
Because I'm gonna tell you something about these athletes. They're trying to bully people because a lot of them are trying to bully people because they got something to hide. That's all they got. They got something to hide. They're hiding shit. And like anybody, like with the Victor Conte situation, you can't sue them. He has every right to think about it because of his past mistakes. He's behind the biggest drug bust in sports history. He has and he should have nothing to do with boxing or sports in general. Let alone he's wanting the VADA testing. So what makes it? This is a conflict of interest. If we're going to look at it, this is a conflict of interest. Victor Conte should not have nothing to do with any drug testing whatsoever. And until other people speak up against it, speak up against VADA, and really put pressure on these sanctioning bodies, we're going to have corrupted drug testing. I don't believe VADA is 100% legit. I have every right to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's covering the sport, I have every right to say that. And what are you gonna do? Threaten to sue me because I say it's not? I don't think it's 100% legit. I have every right to say it. It's freedom of fucking speech.
Well, you definitely got Drew. You definitely have your right to your opinion, but it's when it crosses the line. With the Pierce Morgan situation, it's very easy to say, easy to see because he's using the word staged. So he's implying that the fights are crooked. That's very easy. But when you're just questioning, like you are, Drew, you're questioning the validity of maybe the testing process or why this particular promoter uses VADA, but then Dana White with Zuffa Boxing says he's going to do his own testing. Remember that. We got this new player, and we're going to get to that. We got the new player, Zuffa. We got Dana White breaking into the world of boxing with the September date here in Las Vegas, and they're saying they're going to do their own shit like they do in the UFC. They do their own testing. They got their own people to do that. That is something very valid, Drew, and you're 100% right. You're entitled to your opinion. But when it crosses into libel, like in the Bam Rodriguez situation where a guy is making up a story about him, I guess these boxers also have a right to threaten people with a civil lawsuit if that's exactly what it is. That's up to the courts to decide if it's slander or libel.
Here's the thing about that. Is it hurting his credibility?
Who, Bam Rodriguez?
Yeah. That someone's accusing him of not being Mexican.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
You got to pick your battles.
If it's not damaging your credibility, why are you wasting your time with it and money with it? It was say you're not Mexican. Oh, fucking well. Like as someone calling me, I'm not fucking Irish. Oh, fucking well. You can kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. The last thing somebody should worry about is suing someone because they got told they're not Mexican.
Man, I could just imagine getting a cease and desist letter from Jake Paul. How that would probably put, fear into so many people with the amount of money that guy has. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the chat or in the comments if you listen to the show later. Do you think this current crop of athletes pursuing litigation against small-time people, small-time creators, is it worth their time and effort? Let me know what you guys think about that. Drew, we're just less than 4 weeks away from the big Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford fight. We've talked about Terrence Crawford, his association with Snack Nutrition, but the undercard has finally been announced. They've also are trying to put together a fight on Thursday night at the Fontainebleau, brought to you by Turkey. That fight already, supposedly a heavyweight fight between Hunter and
Michael Hunter
and somebody. Who's the other fighter?
And Joel Big Baby Miller.
And Joel Big Baby Miller. I want to go to that because I think I haven't been to the Fontainebleau for a fight. It's going to be relatively inexpensive compared to trying to go to see the Canelo fight. I'd love to go see that, but apparently, talking about lawsuits, a cease and desist letter was sent to them, I guess Turkey's people, saying, hey, Michael Hunter is represented by Don King, and we ain't got no part to do with that negotiation. So I think there's going to be a fight. There's plenty of fighters that want to fight that week on the Canelo Alvarez week. It just might not be that one. But I am excited to show you guys some of the two fights I'm very excited about. Actually, I think they're going to be pretty good. But the criticism online has been that this is a shit undercard. It's a really expensive show to go to. It is so expensive, Drew, that even high rollers that come to Vegas are having a problem getting free tickets from casinos. Everybody knows how tight the casinos are. It should come to no surprise that they're not just handing out free tickets, whether or not you're a whale in Las Vegas, to see the Canelo Alvarez fight. But here is the undercard, Drew. Tell me what you think about this one real quick. Caleb Walsh. Finally, one of the sons other than Emiliano Vargas, middleweight prospect Fernando Vargas Jr. of Las Vegas, getting the biggest fight of his career against a solid contender, in my opinion. Caleb Walsh, middleweights, is going to be on that card. This is a true privilege to be on the biggest stage possible. All eyes on you. Fernando has not been signed. He's with Marv Nation. He's not got the same type of deal that his baby brother Emiliano Vargas has. This is a big deal for the Vargas family and against a tough opponent, Drew. Fernando Vargas, in my opinion, has not fought anybody along the lines of Caleb Walsh. This is going to be a really tough test in front of thousands of screaming Mexican fans. If he can beat Caleb Walsh and beat him impressively, he just might be the next, add to the dynasty of the allure of the dynasty of the Fernando Vargas family. A tough fight. Very tough fight. That's one of them, Drew. What do you think of that fight?
It's a good fight. It's a good step-up fight.
Specifically for Fernando, who I think he like I said, he's been fighting on Marv Nation. He's undefeated. He's got a lot of pop, but Caleb Walsh has been in there. He's a recognizable name to hardcore boxing fans. I think that one's pretty good. It should be at the bottom of the card, but this one is going to be really good. Really, really good. Where's that other one? Christian and Billy. Super middleweight contender, possibly right now could be ranked number one against Lester Martinez, which is Terrence Bud Crawford's training camp partner. Lester Martinez has been making all his appearances on Pro Box recently. Guatemalan fighter. Never had a Guatemalan champion that I know of. If you guys know of one, Lester Martinez looks like the fucking goods, guys. And Christian and Billy, probably one of the top Canadian fighters right now, an Olympian. Looks like either of these guys look like they could be true tests for Canelo Alvarez as Canelo goes into his older age now. I'm shocked by this one, Drew. In fact, if anything happens to Terrence Crawford, Lester Martinez will be bumped up to the main event. He signed that contract months back, not Christian and Billy. If anything happens to Terrence Crawford between now and then, Lester Martinez will be fighting Canelo Alvarez. What do you think of this fight?
I'll look at it, and I see really could be a back and forth fight for a couple rounds, but then Billy could probably take over at the end. So it'll be a good fight for at least 4 rounds.
I like this fight, guys. This is, like I said, it's been heavily criticized so far, but I'm not too sure why, guys. I know it's an expensive fight. They're saying this is the best they can do. They probably expected a super long card. Again, I think this fight's going to start at 3 p.m., the main card portion, which is a lot earlier than typical fights start in Las Vegas. So it's not like we're going to get 8 incredible fights like Riyadh season, the typical Riyadh season cards. You're going to get about 4. There is I think a heavyweight fight. Not sure who the other one is, but these are 2 fights that I'm looking forward to. So far of what you have heard, are you looking forward to it? It's going to be free on Netflix if you got Netflix. So, don't worry about that. All right, guys. What else do I have on tap before we get to the main storylines this week? Looks like that is it, Drew. So let's get to the top story this week. Philadelphia's Boots Ennis, it's official now. We know who exactly he's going to fight for his first debut fight at 154 pounds. They put out 4 names the week before. One of them that included a welterweight fighter that had, the list didn't look very good to me. There was a British fighter on that list. Who else was on that list, Drew?
Jesus Ramos.
Yeah, I had heard that name floated around, but listen, it's not going to be anybody that I had even anticipated. Here he is. His name is very difficult to pronounce. I tried to pronounce it earlier. Lima from Portugal, Portuguese, from way of Angola, nicknamed El Monstro. All right, he's fought as high as middleweight. And he has 1 loss, Drew, and it's to a damn good Irish fighter, Aaron McKenna, who trains out of Los Angeles. Aaron McKenna, that is the fight you guys need to go watch. If you're wondering, dude, is this guy a complete bum? You've never heard of him. Of course you've never heard of him. He's never fought in the United States of America. He does have 1 sole loss. He is ranked pretty high. I guess he is a ranked fighter, unknown to all of us. But in his last 4 fights, I think his opponents are something like 66-1. So his last 4 fights since his loss to McKenna are against either undefeated fighters or fighters with just 1 loss. So it's a pretty good win streak. But nonetheless, because nobody knows who the F Lima is in the U.S., Drew, your boy Boots Ennis is getting cooked on Twitter for picking him. October 11th, his debut. I saw the fight Virgil Ortiz fought the guy when he made his debut in the division. I was there with Sonteo Media. This guy's a lot better. Let me tell you, I'm going to say, guys, this guy is a lot better than the African fighter Virgil Ortiz fought in his debut at the division of 154. I
got to say, Dave, thank you for pointing that out, because you got idiots out there that are gonna say, "Oh, he's taking he's fighting these nobodies, these tomato cans and everything." Virgil did the same thing, moving up to 154. And if we look at it, you guys let him have it. You guys didn't let him have it. You guys, oh, he's getting acclimated. This is Bruce too getting acclimated, and I think you gotta be the same way. And everything, guys. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of Virgil fanboys. I know there's a lot of people that hate Boots. Don't know why you hate him. Has a crowd-pleasing style and everything. But he signed on to fight Virgil 2026. So, if Virgil had 3 step-up fights at 154, why? And nobody said anything. You guys need to keep that same energy for Boots. Like, really. If you don't have that same energy for Boots, man, I think you're biased. You guys are biased against Boots Ennis and everything. I don't understand how bad it can be, but you got to keep that same energy. If you're not going to keep that same energy, I don't want to hear it. Because both those guys, this guy is better than all 3 of the fighters that Virgil had to use for step-up fights. And let's see it like this. Virgil didn't have fucking a potential fight with Jesus Ramos happening. You wonder what happened to that fight? I'm going to tell you what happened to that fight. PBC did not want to put him in a ring, did not want to put none of the fighters in a ring with Boots Ennis, because they are afraid Boots Ennis will make them look bad, will beat them like he did when he was fighting on Showtime, when Al Heyman did not want none of his top fighters fighting Boots Ennis. And if nobody wants to believe that, go fuck yourself and believe what you want.
I remind everybody, Drew, that when Boots was with PBC, he did not have the agreement that most PBC fighters has, which is that Al Heyman is the advisor or the manager. I believe he's always had his own management team, right?
Yeah, he always was managed by Boise. And if you look at it, Heyman didn't like that. So they exclusively fought on Showtime. He didn't have enough, and Heyman said, "I'm not going to give him against my top guys." But I want somebody. I'm going to say this right now. I put a tweet out. It was 3 or 4 days ago that a lot of these content creators on YouTube that are on this platform, that are on X, are a bunch of dick riders. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this right now.
I'm laughing, Drew, because my wife saw that tweet, and I'm like, "Whoa, what is Drew just tweet?"
Because like Dave, you know me for like 5 or 6 years. When do you realize? I hope you realize by now, Drew Evo doesn't give a fuck.
Nah, and I know a lot of the other great content creators know that about you, Drew. Shout out to all the people that responded to that tweet and liked it or retweeted it.
Because I'm sorry, when you are trying, like, I don't give a fuck how bad, when you're talking all this shit about them, and now you're dick riding for them and everything.
But what if somebody says Drew dick rides for Boots? What are we gonna? What would we say then?
I tell them this: if you can't keep it 100 like I can keep it 100, you don't deserve to say I dick ride for people. Because I tell you the truth right now, I keep it 100. We interview people on here, and I fucking talk and I say negative shit about them, and I don't give a fuck because I'm not like these fucking other motherfuckers on here that interview people and then they fucking dick ride for them, even when they get their fucking asses kicked and everything. Let's keep it a bean here. If they get their ass kicked, I'm gonna say they got their ass kicked. And everything. I'm not going to keep on fucking going on lobbying for them after they suffer their second or third loss in a row and everything because, I'm probably getting paid money in the fucking pocket, in my back pocket or anything, or they're throwing me fucking ones and dancing and everything for them and everything. You want to be their fucking stripper, be their fucking stripper if you want. But at the end of the fucking day, I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, look at it like this. You see how these motherfuckers act one day about a guy, and then they fucking back them up, be on their dick so fucking hard and everything.
Damn.
And it's a fucking shame how people backtrack their fucking shit. And like this is why I don't watch a lot of boxing content creators. I'm gonna tell you, this is why outside of El Chile with Chicano, fucking Ringside Reporter with Beeb and Eric LaRota, Maestro Mircar, and us, I can give, and Mario Munguia, forget the name of the show, sorry Mario, I forgot
Infighting FX.
Infighting FX. Other than that, I don't give a flying fuck about the rest of you. I'm sorry. There are a couple more that I'm cool with. There are a couple more that I like that I'm cool with, and I think. And like they say, they want to reply, hey, I'll talk to them about it in private. They want and everything, but I'm tired. If you're gonna be like that, just to get yourself some money, to sell your soul to the devil, then how can I respect you for that? Like seriously, how can I respect a motherfucker that wants to fucking bash somebody and then fucking be on their dick the next fucking day because they probably throw them a fucking couple $100 or something? Like seriously.
Well, Drew, somebody just dropped a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that, SS Spider. He says, "Let's effing go, Drew." A lot of people like when Drew's on fire. You haven't been on fire in a minute.
I'm sorry because I'm tired of seeing all this bullshit. Shakur Stevenson. The same motherfucker's been fucking getting on Shakur Stevenson for being fucking boring and everything. Then he fucking fights William Zepeda and it fucking exposes him. Like I fucking told people. How long have I told people about William Zepeda, Dave?
Probably the whole time he's been on our radar.
How long have I told people how this fight with Shakur Stevenson plays out?
The whole time, Drew. The whole time.
What's it going to take for somebody to realize when Drew says something 95% of the time, it fucking comes true or it happens or it's fucking true. Like, let's look at it like this. If we're looking at, nobody wants to mention his last 3 shows in Newark, Shakur Stevenson's hometown, by the way. Halfway through those fights, his home fans walked the fuck out of that arena because how fucking boring it was. Because Shakur didn't want to engage. Here's the thing: do you want to know why Shakur engaged William Zepeda? The biggest reason why? Because, like I said before, William Zepeda does not have knockout power. He knocks people out with volume. And what happens, and if you see that fucking fight, did you really see? He didn't really have power. Yeah, he clipped Shakur, and it should have been a knockdown. But at the end of the day, that dude don't have fucking one-punch knockout power. Don't have fucking knockout power, period. Like, seriously, let's look at it like this. I look at so many fighters nowadays, and people come at me with my takes, like I give a fuck, because, like, I'm sorry, I expose so many motherfuckers for being soft. It's not even funny. A couple people don't even come on here no more because I expose them for being soft, and they can't take my fucking comments and everything. And then they want to come along on Twitter and tell me, you're the one that's soft and everything. You're the one, like, you're telling me I'm soft, but you're the one fucking acting like a little bitch on fucking Twitter, coming at me and everything. So at the end of the fucking day, I'm gonna keep it a beam with people of my opinions. You don't gotta like my fucking opinions, but you're gonna fucking respect my opinions, because 95% of the time, shit fucking happens. And I don't understand where these motherfuckers come on and everything, and then want to come on and say and talk so much shit and everything, and say, Shakur's can be anybody, and then but you know what, man? I'm gonna, if I see one more motherfucker on Twitter talking about a motherfucker back, like dick riding for a motherfucker that is washed up, I'm gonna make an ass out of them so fucking badly. They probably don't want to come back to content creating until their mid-50s. And when they don't have it no more, and their fucking half of their fucking following is fucking dead, or fucking can't pay their fucking internet bill anymore.
Woof. We dropped some F-bombs tonight.
I rest my fucking case about it. I don't give a flying fuck. If they don't like what I said, you can hit my ex Twitter account, whatever the fuck it is nowadays. You can talk about it, but I'll probably tell you after the end of the day, go fuck yourself and have a good fucking day.
Well, there you have it, guys. Drew's hot take of the week. Now, we'll say this, Drew, going back to the whole Boots Ennis thing, that is a great month. It's our birthday month. We're both Libras. I do kind of have a problem with this. The fact is that he was ranked by the WBC already number 1. Not only is that, but the fight he has with this guy Lima, and guys, the guy Lima he's not a bum. You guys just got to watch his fight with Aaron McKenna. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I think it's a fight where, you know, that guy Karen survived against Boots Ennis. Karen at 147. This guy could go the distance, but it could end in late stoppage. He's not faced the type of competition that Boots Ennis has. And I think Boots Ennis' power is probably going to carry just fine to 154. I mean, you don't see some of the great fight. You don't see new champion Sanders Zayas knocking people out. I think he's going to have enough power at 154 to keep guys honest. It's going to be a good fight. But ranked number 1 right off the gate. And also, Drew, that's a WBA title eliminator. So Drew, he wins this fight, and your guy Boots Ennis is in line to fight for the WBA title. That's all great. We'll see how the fans respond. Okay, it's gonna be on DAZN. Eddie Hearn, his matchmaker, his promoter, got himself in some hot water this week because he was saying that the Virgil Ortiz fight is right around the corner. He made us done on an interview. And Virgil Ortiz's team, including his manager, which I respect very much, Rick Mariagan of Fresno, California, who's done a great job so far with the career of Virgil Ortiz, in my opinion, and a lot of other fighters like Jose Ramirez. Well, he fired back saying fake news at Virgil Ortiz is not fighting Boots at all in January or anytime soon. We have no offer. We said yes 3 times prior and he backed out. Every circus needs a clown. And sorry, we are not in the circus. Go to Rick Mariagan's IG if you guys want to know. Shout out to Mo Problem for this graphic. But they say there is no fight yet official in January. Meanwhile, I don't know. It seems like Eddie Hearn saying it's a done deal. So these days you have to take everything with a grain of salt. When they say that they've agreed to terms, it doesn't mean there's a contract at all. And sometimes they say agree to terms, and it's true that they are negotiating, but there ain't no contract. So I don't know. If your boy Boots Ennis wins this WBA title eliminator, I don't think the next opponent should be Virgil Ortiz. I personally think he should fight for the WBA title. You know, and then after he wins that, if he wins that WBA title, I want to see him unify against Xander Zayas. You know, F all the contenders. Let's see these champions fight each other. Champions fighting each other always takes precedence in my book. If he wins that title, boom, fight the other champions. Eventually, maybe we'll see him fight the Towering Inferno. If Sebastian Fundora's manager is willing to take that chance.
99% of the time, he won't.
All right, man.
Like, let's keep it here, man. Like, I think, like, I said my piece with shit like this, man. Like, this, like, let's look at it like this. I got it here. Like last week, I got to hear motherfuckers exposing people and everything because a dude's a cuckoo motherfucker. Like a dude's a cuckoo motherfucker. I'm not gonna mention his fucking name because he don't deserve me mentioning his fucking name and everything. Because to me, he's already made enough mistakes of his own, and not to me to point them out. I'm not giving a fuck. So look at it like this. And no, a matter of fact, I do gotta call somebody out, man. And I'm sorry, Dave, that I'm calling him out.
Do I gotta mute?
Showbiz, I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Don't get us sued.
I retweeted you and everything. You asked Victor Conti about something that it kind of pushed a little bit. And it kind of made Victor Conti come at you. And then you backtracked and saying, Conti we trust. And you have every right to ask the question you asked because of the dude's past. And then you say, in Conti we trust. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like I said before, dude, hey, I'm proud of you for what you accomplished, being a content creator, getting that deal with the zone and everything. But dude, my dude, don't change who you are. Don't go corporate because you got a deal from corporate and everything. And I can't respect the motherfucker that does that shit. You stay the way you are because that's what gets you to the dance. As someone would say, as a wise man would say to me, the oracle, wise man would say, keep doing what got you to this dance. Keep doing what got you where you're at today. Because once you change and you lose everything, when you lose everything, you're probably never getting it back. Even if you go back to the way you were, because they'll think that you were a joke, that you were fake and everything. So showbiz, man, keep going the way you are, man. Don't act like that because Victor Conti wants to be a dickhead because he doesn't want to answer no questions about his past and everything. So let's look at it like this. I want to put a little bit of a history lesson to everybody here. Victor Conti was behind the Vaco, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. Valco scandal. He's the one that gave the steroids out. He was the main guy behind it. He got arrested. He lost a lot of money doing this shit. And now all of a sudden he created a snack, minus the K, by the way. And snack nutrition, minus the K, by the way, again. And then he had all these fighters representing it and everything, training over there and everything. Now, we can, I see all the treats out there. People come at Canelo with the Colutorol, whatever the fuck that is, with the
Clenbuterol?
Yeah, with the tainted meat. And then they come at the snack thing because of Victor Conti's past and everything. And then Reynoso camp, because in recent history, majority of the Reynoso camp tested positive. I think at least 75% of the active fighters are juicing. And they're not doing the test because why are you doing a test for a fight that's not a big fight? That's not a big title fight. That's just a regular fight on an undercard and everything that no one gives a flying fuck about because it's a lot of money. It costs $10,000 possibly for both fighters test. And that's two of them because there's an A sample and a B sample, by the way. So so the question is, why would we pay $60,000 for just drug testing if we only got to do it for the co-main and the main event?
So, Drew, it's interesting you say that. I mean, UFC's got their own model. Everybody gets tested. And without year-round testing that's mandatory, people are going to fall through the cracks. And it's kind of, you're throwing out a number, 75%. Who knows? I really don't know what the number it is. But you have to figure that at the elite level of any sport where there's an opportunity to gain an advantage, whether you call it cheating or you want to call it something else, athletes are always going to do it. And without year-round testing, that's the same with every promoter, because some promoters choose different testing methods. They do different tests in Europe. You know, it's not all the same tests. There's going to be people that fall through the cracks and get away with it, and some people that don't. And when we wrap up the show today, when I talk about the two Japanese fighters who passed away tragically in the same fight card, that's when you realize how important it is that everybody's tested and everybody goes through the same, that there's a uniform procedure to protect fighters' safety. And there isn't, and you bring up something that is completely true. Not everybody gets tested on a fight card. And if you know you're not going to get tested, why not gain an advantage? Well, regardless of what sport it is, people are always going to find a way to gain an advantage. But unfortunately, in combat sports, it can lead to people passing away. And it's just very, very unfortunate, Drew. We'll touch more on this subject going later, the whole Victor Conti. For now, guys, if you don't know who he is, there's a great sports documentary on Netflix. Watch it before the Canelo fight. It's very entertaining. And you tell me, you leave me a comment in this under this show or future shows and let me know, do you think Victor Conti is a reformed man? He's done his time. He did his time, federal prison. Not one fighter under snack nutrition has tested positive. I believe Andre Berto was a snack fighter, left snack, tested positive later in his career, but no snack nutrition fighter, including Bud Crawford, who just got a clear sample, has tested positive. Let me know what you guys think. Now, speaking of Dana White, let's get into this massive story deal, Drew, because early this morning it was announced, and now I'm hearing Dana White has corrected. Look at it. I've got all my pictures ready, and look at this. Dana White to the New York Post, pay-per-view is not dead. All right. I didn't even get a chance to load that one up. All right, this is a statement earlier today. This historic deal with Paramount and CBS is incredible for UFC fans. Paramount owns Showtime. They own CBS. It's the parent company. For the first time ever, fans in the U.S. will have access to all UFC content without a pay-per-view model, making it more affordable and accessible to view the greatest fights on a massive platform. This deal puts UFC amongst the biggest sports in the world. The exposure provided by Paramount and CBS networks under this new structure is a huge win for our athletes and anyone who watches and loves this sport. All right. Earlier today, pay-per-view is dead. That's what was going around the entire internet, social media. No more UFC pay-per-views. 7 years, $7.7 billion exclusive US only. If you live in Canada, you're still left. There's probably still going to be, you have to pay to watch this shit. Nonetheless, you still got to pay for Paramount Plus, which I don't know the fee, but it's not going to be like paying for a pay-per-view with no additional fees. But then, just 2 hours ago, by the way, Turkey responded to Dana White 2 hours ago, praising him. Of course, Turkey's working with Dana for the September 13th super matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford. But just hours ago, let me see if I can screen share this. Dana White is not closing the door on pay-per-view after a $7.7 billion Paramount deal. Guess what? I can't read you this because there's a paywall. That's right. If you want to read this, you got to pay Post Sports Plus. Everything is a goddamn subscription in this country. I'm telling you, I'm so sick of everything. If I don't even know how many subscriptions I have because I can't cancel them. They make it so damn hard to cancel everything. But Drew is taking it back. Earlier today, this is the biggest deal for the UFC. They're no longer going to be on ESPN. They're no longer going to do pay-per-views with the ESPN Plus. They're going to be strictly Paramount for a small fee. He says you're going to be able to watch what was formerly known as their pay-per-views. Now it's saying up to four a year. I'm not the biggest MMA fan, but don't they do pay-per-views every month?
Possibly, but I look at it like this. Their pay-per-views hasn't really been successful. If you look at it.
Yeah, no, I know they've been going down. So this deal, $7.7 billion, is a great deal. It's a cash cow. But why would you not take this deal? Of course you're going to take it. It's a great deal with a media company, but they're not saying they're done with UFC pay-per-views. They're saying there are going to be fights several times a year where he will still elect to go the pay-per-view model. And earlier today, I did a show with Mario. Shout out to Mario in Fighting FX. And I thought it was dead. I'm like, okay. Somebody figured out that charging your fan base $49, $59, $79, $99 to watch an event, that's bullshit. And Americans can't afford it. Americans can't afford to go to Las Vegas and gamble. They got no discretionary income. They got nothing left over after paying all their bills. How can you force sports fans to keep paying pay-per-views for combat sports, bro? I don't pay shit to watch NFL in my local market. What was it? Major League Baseball going to turn off their fans and start charging you to watch baseball too in your local market? What do you make of this tremendous deal? $7.7 billion. Will boxing somehow figure out how to save themselves and chase a deal like this?
I don't know, because people in boxing are stupid. But like Dana White has to realize pay-per-view's dead. Because you're just going to stream it. He might as well accept pay-per-view being dead. Because I got told, we got Paramount in the house. And we're going and my family said they're going to begin watching UFC more. And I look at it and I'm like, fuck it. It's on. I guess I'll watch it and everything. Even though I was a bigger Bellator fan than UFC. I think everybody, mostly in my household, was a bigger Bellator fan. You
know what's funny? This weekend there was no boxing on, guys. And YouTube, the television, YouTube on my TVs, I think you guys all have YouTube on TV. They changed the shit where it doesn't say like previously watched or it now only has one row where it says recommendations unless you're logged onto your TV under your screen name, which I refuse to do. I don't need them to know they already spy on you. Now it only has one row, and somehow it recommended to me Pride fight, Ken Shamrock, back in the day, Pride versus Don Fry. That was a fucking great fight. Those are some great fights. Those Pride fights were something else.
That was the best. That was the best of MMA. I'm sorry, the old school MMA was the best to watch. Really. That
was a great match. I'm like, thank you for recommending me that. I forgot how good MMA used to be.
Like Horatio Shogun Rua. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You want to know who's my favorite fighter of all time in MMA? Horatio Shogun Rua.
I remember him
and everything. And he was the man in Pride, and like a lot of shit was different in Pride because you were able to stomp on them while they were on the ground. Can't do it in the UFC, but I see a lot of good fights, like The Last Emperor, Fyodor Emelianenko.
Oh yeah,
but you also had, but it was also good because you had pro wrestlers from the Japanese promotions wrestle in these fights too. And like one of my favorite wrestlers one of my two all-time favorite wrestlers actually wrestled an MMA fight with his mask on because he's a masked wrestler. And he wrestled with a different type of mask on and everything. He lost, but he did the fight. He legitimately fought an MMA fight and everything. And there was another guy that was actually fought in MMA, but he was also, there was two of them that fought in MMA, and they were also both former IWGP heavyweight champions in New Japan Pro Wrestling and everything. Bob Sapp.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. True, but one of those things. Hey, that golden era of early MMA, were they juiced?
Bob Sapp probably was juice. I'm sorry.
I like that Don Fry and Shamrock. I'm like, man, there's no way these guys weren't juiced, but it was incredible MMA. I don't really care.
But did you look? I'm going to say something. Bob Sapp didn't really have a good MMA record. He actually has a below 500 MMA record.
Yeah, he was too muscular. That guy was just too muscular. And you know that, like in boxing, too much muscularity means your fast twitch muscles are too slow, actually. So it's not advantageous. He would have been a hell of a football player. Or was he a football player? Forgot.
I think he should have stick to more, because he was an attraction in Japan. Bob Sapp. He made a hell of a lot of fucking money in Japan and everything. He was a former I don't know he only probably was an IWGP heavyweight champion in New Japan because of the attraction that he is, but he didn't really last. I don't think it was a real long reign as IWGP champion. But if you look at like the gaijins that they call them in Japan, he made a shitload of fucking money doing commercials, being on shows, and doing pride fighting and wrestling. And because you make money when you're an American wrestler and you are wrestling, even on an independent show in Japan, you're still making a shitload of money.
Damn. You know, today it's funny because Naoya Inoue, the monster, is 5'5", 122 pounds, nothing like Bob Sapp. And nowadays, boxers like Naoya Inoue are the attractions in Japan. You know, diminutive, smaller stature men compared to what the Pride Fighting Championship people used to look like. Now those are the stars making all the promotional deals, all the big money. Hey, shout out to Wiley Coyote, says the tech world is making everyone use the same shit. I heard they're going to start asking for IDs pretty soon to be on apps like TikTok and YouTube. They want to validate not only your age, but they want to validate who the F you are. That may bring this up. I could do an entire show about that, Drew. If they start requiring everyday YouTube users to actually scan your driver's license, that might end the modern day troll on apps like YouTube. That really might cut back on what people, want to call cyberbullying, harassment. If they got your fucking ID, are you really going to be the same troll you used to be? I mean, wow. Things are changing, and things are changing quick, Drew. I think, within 5 years, AI is coming for, if you don't work with your hands, AI could potentially take your job. I've seen it in my industry. I came from Silicon Valley. It's coming for a lot of people's jobs. AI is coming for you. And guess what, Drew? There's a job that got taken already in Las Vegas with AI. As we get ready to wrap up this show, I have to share this with you, Drew. This right here, her name was Aria, but the Aria Hotel threatened to sue because of the name. They had named her Aria. She's selling half-price tickets at the Vegas Fashion Show Mall. I have not seen her yet. Now, I've been told August 5th she was a blonde and her name was Aria. Now she's a brunette. And she'll sell you tickets to one of the great Las Vegas shows, and that's done away with at least one employee behind the counter. Now, I've already seen on Twitter, Drew, that guys are going up there just to hit on her. And AI is pretty sharp because apparently she will turn you down. You can't just flirt with her and ask her out, Drew. So AI is coming for our jobs. Everybody's got to wake up, man. We got to get ready for this shit. They're coming for our jobs. How soon before we see these behind a craps table?
I'll probably get arrested asking horse shit. I'll be like this. You ever been to a Diddy party?
No, I've seen that. I think people already on Twitter are posting them trying to hook up with the AI bot, but she ain't having it. She ain't having it, guys.
Desperate motherfuckers, you.
Hey, Drew, I don't want to end the show on a bad note. Some of you guys had heard this earlier, but this is really, really tragic and unheard of. Never before happened. Rest in peace to these great fighters, Shigetoshi Kotari, and also a fighter on the same card, Urukawa. Both of these warriors passed away from being on the same fight card in Japan. We talked about Japan Pride. I was watching it this weekend. It got recommended to me. These great warriors, Japanese fighters, Drew, long history of being warriors in the ring. Everybody's attracted to the modern day style of Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue has his counter. There's other fighters, great Japanese fighters. But not only did these two guys pass away, I talked about it on the Angelo Leo undercard. The co-main fighter, I found out they have not reported on him since May 27th. He's still from the same thing, a hematoma in the brain. They had to saw his brain. And ever since late May, when the Angelo Leo fight was for the featherweight title against Kamita, that co-main fighter is still in a coma, battling for his life. It's May, June. Wow, June, July, August. I have not heard any news about that fighter coming out of that coma. It could very well be that they may pull life support or he may come out of it and recover. I don't know. So pray for these great warriors. And that's why it's important. I said jokingly, half jokingly, Pride. You knew that those guys were juiced up in that era, but it was the most entertaining era of MMA history. In boxing, it's a lot different because you only take blows to the head, right? And MMA is a full contact sport, but in boxing, it's just consistent, steady blows to the head, which unfortunately leads to what we just saw this weekend, finding out that two fighters have passed away being on the same card. That never happens, man. That's really, really tragic. Juicing in boxing, I'm not going to support it. But everybody's got to get together. All these promoters got to get together, Drew, and somehow figure it out. Have the same set of rules across the entire world. If we're talking boxing, if you're suspended for boxing in England, you can't come over here and fight the way, we seen Conor Benn was suspended in the UK, came over here to Florida and picked up a fight. What's good, Rhonda? Appreciate everybody that was here. We're wrapping up this show. 2 shows again today, and I appreciate everybody that tuned into it this weekend. I hope everybody has a great preseason Saturday, Drew. Drew, are we going to finally start our football talk show?
Hoping.
Come on, Shador Sanders is coming to Philly. Shador Sanders is coming to Philadelphia this week.
What do you want me to do? You want me to just put my arm like this?
Man, he looks freaking great. He looks great. I can't believe it. I can't believe that he looked good. That good.
I'm gonna look at it like this, man. I look at a lot. I've been doing a lot of research on shit when it comes to football, and I really got the NFC East record predictions down and everything. And like I really, and I think, and I look at the team, and I look at a lot of different teams and everything. What teams I think are going to take a step forward, or teams are going to take a step back, and everything. And some people might get mad and everything, but if you see the moves and everything, and you see the storylines of teams and everything, if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, I am in a great place because the two biggest threats. I can't consider Dallas a threat anyway because Dallas, even before this shit came out, I had Dallas only winning 7 games because I got Dallas going 7-10. Mike, the best defensive player, has requested a trade, Michael Parsons, and the best offensive player on the Commanders outside of Jalen Daniels, Terry McLaurin, has also requested a trade. So, gotta love being an Eagles fan right now and how this shit gonna go.
Well, I can't believe it, Drew. 49ers are playing Las Vegas Raiders. Very exciting. Man, it would be great to go see that game in person. Shout out to everybody here, fans of the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs fans are in here, guys. Enjoy your teams this week, Drew, and hopefully, are we going to come back this week and do
Chiefs
a little preview?
Chiefs go 11-6.
Interesting. Hopefully, we'll be back this week, guys. Stay tuned. I'll put out the thumbnail for Tailgate Talk early if Drew obliges, and we'll cover some football this week. All right, everybody, peace out. Peace.